This is an activation of the Canadian Alert Ready system, a system in place to warn the public in the event of an emergency. Event type is flood. Locations impacted include, but are not limited to, Port Douglas, Taipella, and Long Island in southern British Columbia. A flood warning has been issued by the Canadian government in your area until further notice. Throughout the morning, heavy rainfall has been occurring near and around Harrison Lake, British Columbia. This rainfall is expected to cause flooding in coastal regions. If you observe rapidly rising water levels in your area, it is advised that you evacuate immediately. It is also possible that continuous heavy rain could cause a landslide off of Mount Breckenridge. If you are near the base of the mountain, it is advised that you leave the area until an all clear is given. This is an activation of the Canadian Alert Ready system, a system in place to warn the public in the event of an emergency. Event type is landslide. Locations impacted include Harrison Lake, British Columbia. A landslide warning has been issued by the Canadian government until further notice. Due to excessive rainfall in the region, a major slab of rock from Mount Breckenridge has been reported to be sliding down the southwestern facing side of the mountain. Anybody on or around Mount Breckenridge should evacuate immediately. There is a high likelihood that this slab of rock could fall into Harrison Lake. If this were to happen, a large tsunami could result from the force of the earth hitting the water. At this time, remain indoors, and wait for future updates from emergency services. This is an activation of the Canadian Alert Ready system, a system in place to warn the public in the event of an emergency. Event type is an immediate evacuation order. Locations impacted include, but are not limited to, Port Douglas, Long Island, Taipella, Harrison Hot Springs, and any towns around Harrison Lake, or the Western Fraser River. An immediate evacuation order has been issued by the Canadian government until further notice. If you are in or around any of these locations, you are urged to evacuate immediately. The formation of a tsunami is very likely to impact the Harrison Lake area within the next 45 minutes. A tsunami is a large wave, or a large sequence of waves, caused by some sort of disturbance in a large body of water. A tsunami is expected to form within the next hour due to a large landslide off the southwestern side of Mount Breckenridge. Tsunamis are incredibly dangerous and could potentially wipe any towns in or along Harrison Lake clean off the map. At this time, evacuate if possible. If you choose to evacuate, get as far away from any major body of water as you possibly can. Bring only the essentials with you, as you likely will not have time to grab everything you need from your house and still make it out in time. If you feel you do not have time to evacuate, get to the highest possible position you can, and do not come down until an all clear is given.
This message is being broadcast at the request of the National Weather Service office in Bellingham, Washington. A tsunami warning has been issued for Whatcom County, Washington, until further notice. At around 5:20 p.m., a tsunami was reported in the Lake Harrison region of southern British Columbia. This tsunami was caused by a landslide off Mount Breckenridge, to the northeastern side of Harrison Lake. A tsunami emergency is already taking place in areas surrounding the lake, and that tsunami is expected to reach northern Whatcom County within the next 15 minutes. Locations impacted include but are not limited to Sumas, Clarebrook, Linden, and Delta. While it is possible that tsunami will lose a good amount of its momentum when traveling overland, the risk is still very high. If you feel you have time to evacuate safely, you should head as far south as possible, and remain away from any large bodies of water. If you feel it is too late to evacuate, find the highest structure available, and do not come down until an all clear is given. The first wave is not always the biggest wave in a tsunami. Sometimes there are multiple waves that come one after another. Do not underestimate the power of water, as rushing water with this much force behind it has the potential to sweep buildings away. Remain at a high up position until an all clear is given. Also, stay tuned to the National Weather Service and local news media for more updates on this event.
These days, nothing is normal and everything is weird. But you could still save big when you switch to Progressive. That won't change. Not today or any day.
Quote today at Progressive.com.
And we are back from commercial break. Today in international news, an interesting but devastating display of natural phenomena in British Columbia, Canada. At around 5:20 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Friday evening, a major chunk of rock broke free from the southern face of Mount Breckenridge, a large mountain near Harrison Lake, British Columbia. This area has been under watch from geologists for years, due to the mountain being along a major fault line. But it did not take an earthquake to break the chunk of rock free. Heavy rain in the area seemed to be enough to get a major chunk of the mountain sliding down the side into the lake below. When it made impact, a massive 100-foot tsunami formed in all directions. This event has devastated Port Douglas to the north of the lake, along with Harrison Hot Springs to the south of the lake. These areas have sustained serious damage, and will likely not recover for months. Many residential homes along the lakefront were completely washed away. The local economy is expected to take a major hit, due to many businesses being damaged or destroyed. Jobs such as logging companies, tourism, and local fishing will be negatively impacted. In addition to economic impacts, it is likely the local ecosystem will take a major hit from this event. Many trees, underground burrows for animals, and other natural habitats in the area were washed away almost immediately due to the tsunami. More minor damage was reported all along the Fraser River. Minor flooding reached as far west as Vancouver, and even into extreme northern Hatcom County in Washington state. This in itself is impressive, considering the nearest major waterway to the United States, Canadian border was around 10 miles inland from where the damage was caused. Search efforts are also underway for at least 12 missing people in the area, mostly those along the lakefront who were not able to evacuate in time. We will keep you updated throughout the day today with more information as it becomes available. Now, on to the local forecast for the next 7 days.